keeping up with our motto, let learning be a joy and teaching a pleasure. Here we are with the remote.
Students. Today we are going to study with Standard 8, Lesson number 3, Humidity and Clouds. Students, we keep talking about the weather conditions. We experience the dampness or dryness in the air throughout the year. A lot of changes do take place in the weather conditions in the desert region, coastal region and mountainous areas. We use the words like hot, moist, cool, etc. And these words, they tell us the condition of the air. These words relate to the content of the moisture in the air. Moisture in the air is invisible, but it is the major component of air which is taken into consideration while discussing the weather conditions of any place. Let us study with evaporation. Evaporation is the process of converting water into steam or water vapor. That is, evaporation happens when a liquid substance, that is water, becomes a gas, that is vapor. When water is heated, it evaporates. We can see the process of evaporation depends on the dryness of the air, the temperature, the speed of the wind. So evaporation is very important part of the water cycle. Heat from the sun or solar energy powers the evaporation process. It soaks up moisture from soil in a garden as well as the biggest oceans and lakes. The water level will decrease as it is exposed to the heat of the sun. For example, we can take about the salt pans. How evaporation helped in salt formation. See, when water is evaporated into the air, forms or goes into clouds and then returns in the form of precipitation. Now this is what is called the water cycle. When ocean salt water evaporates, the salt in the water is left in the water. This causes the salt water to become heavily laden with salt. Let us study the factors affecting the rate of evaporation. First, dryness of the air. If the dryness of the air is less, the rate of evaporation is less. If the dryness of the air is more, the evaporation is more. Similarly with temperature, if it is less, evaporation is normally less. If the temperature is more, evaporation is more. And with the speed of the wind. If the wind blows with a less speed, then evaporation is less, whereas if it blows fast or more, the rate of evaporation is more. Now, overall we understand if the air is dry and hot, the rate of evaporation increases. The process of evaporation continues even in dry and cold air. On the other hand, evaporation occurs very slowly in moist air. If the velocity and temperature of the air is high, then evaporation occurs rapidly. If the wind is blowing slowly and the air is cooler, then evaporation occurs slowly. Humidity in the air. The word humidity derives from the Latin word humor, which means to be moist. This should immediately conjure up an image of something that has moisture or water contained in it. So humidity is used to describe the water contained in air. The proportion of water vapor in the air is called humidity. The dryness or dampness of the air depends on the proportion of water vapor. Moisture holding capacity of the air. The capacity of the air to hold water vapor is called moisture holding capacity of the air. Moisture, that is the small amount of liquid that cause dampness. Warmer air's moisture holding capacity is comparatively more, that means warm air hold more moisture. On the other hand, cold air's moisture holding capacity is comparatively low. The condition of air at a certain temperature in which the moisture holding of air becomes equal to the proportion of moisture present in it, it is called saturation of the air. Now what is saturation of the air? Saturation of air, that means air that contains the maximum amount of water vapor that is possible at the given temperature and pressure, that is in which the relative humidity is 100%. Now, how do you know if the air is saturated? A state of saturation exists when the air is holding the maximum amount of water vapor possible at existing temperature and pressure. When the dew point temperature and air temperature are equal, the air is said to be saturated. Humidity. Now, before we talk about absolute humidity and relative humidity, let us recapitulate with the term humidity. The proportion of water vapor in the air is called as humidity. Absolute humidity and relative humidity are just ways of representing the moisture contained in the air. What is absolute humidity? The amount of water vapor in 1 cubic meter of air is called the absolute humidity. Generally, humidity of the air is measured in grams per cubic meter. The distribution of land and water on the earth and the seasons affect absolute humidity. We will see the formula to find out the absolute humidity. Mass of water vapor upon volume of air. Here, for example, the absolute humidity of the air near the coastal area is higher than the air in the interior. So absolute humidity is higher in the equatorial region while it reduces as we move towards the pole. And the distribution of land and water on earth and the seasons, they affect absolute humidity. Relative humidity. The amount of water vapor present in air expressed as a percentage of the amount needed for saturation at the same temperature is called relative humidity. The change in temperature of the air leads to change in moisture holding capacity of the air. This in turn leads to change in the relative humidity of the air. A reading of 100% relative humidity means that the air is totally saturated with water vapor and cannot hold any more. That is creating the possibility to rain. Here in the second figure we can see air with a relative humidity of 52% contains a half of the water vapor and it could hold at a particular temperature. So in short, relative humidity is the ratio of the current absolute humidity to the highest possible absolute humidity, which depends on the current air temperature. A reading of 100% relative humidity means that the air is totally saturated with water vapor and cannot hold any more. That is creating the possibility to rain. This doesn't mean that the relative humidity must be 100% only in order to rain. It must be 100% where the clouds are forming. But the relative humidity near the ground could be much less. As I told you, relative humidity is the amount of water vapor present in the air and it can be expressed as a percentage of the amount needed for saturation at the same temperature and the same volume. Relative humidity is expressed in percentage. The formula for relative humidity is absolute humidity upon vapor holding capacity into 100. Now humidity can be measured with an instrument called as hygrometer. The given figure is of hygrometer. An hygrometer is an instrument used to measure the amount of water vapor in air in soil. Now most instruments respond to or they are calibrated to read relative humidity, that is RH, which is the amount of water relative to the maximum at a particular temperature and is expressed as percentage. There are few more figures of hygrometers. As I told you, like thermometers are used to measure temperature, hygrometers measures humidity in the air. Now what is a hygrometer? Hygrometers are considered weather instruments that can measure humidity. Over the centuries, these instruments have changed, advanced, and have taken different varieties to suit the user's need. Here, to understand how to use a hygrometer, it helps to know when and where you can use it. A hygrometer is an essential instrument in meteorological science. It has numerous commercial uses, but the primary purpose of the device is to measure the amount of water vapor, that is humidity, in the air. Thank you.